Okay, awesome. Go ahead.
Awesome guy. Yeah. So also put in the chat today is put a 1 in the chat if it's your first time on book club.
No ones.
No ones.
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Shondell. Okay, so whoever is 825-207, go ahead and if you can change it to a name. That way we know who you are. So only a couple of ones.
Okay, well, here, let me ask you this. Is it your birthday month? Put a 2 in the chat if it's your birthday month.
Do we have any October birthdays out there? Okay, nobody's born in October.
Guys, we're trying to give away some money here.
This is great.
Okay,
that's okay. I have a wrap here.
Oliver. It's Oliver's birthday month.
Oh yeah, we got some Novembers. Okay, keep going.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. In the light of time, Oliver, have your coach reach out to Eric and Kristen. You just earned some wellness credits on your account, $25. So Oliver, please let us know who your coach is so we can get that taken care of for you. And Kristen, go ahead.
Okay, so I am grateful for all of you. It is all of you that I get to wake up every Saturday morning. As you guys hear me say over and over and over again, I just can't express how much I think book club has been able to help me on my journey. Obviously, I'm in optimization, but I wasn't always in optimization. And I want you to put, I guess we'll do a 3 in the chat. How many of you think that program is hard? So I'm going to give it a minute. Not saying hard all the time, but how many of you can say that there's been times that you consider program to be hard? I don't see any 3s. Oh, wait, I saw a 3. Okay, here we go. Now I'm starting to see some 3s. So now I see a 0, but okay. That's what I kind of wanted to see. Now, just a little bit of background on me. Some of you know me, and the ones of you that have seen me do this before, just kind of bear with me and play along. But I recently have moved from California to Texas, and I don't recommend it for anybody to do like that out-of-state moving thing. It's very tricky. It's very hard. But I will tell you that when you consider program to be hard, I want you to kind of think of a little bit of reality, and I'm going to show you my old reality. Okay, this is Kristen's old reality. So I don't know how well you can see that, but I think that this is hard. Okay, some of you may have started, I don't know, smaller, bigger, but whatever. But this to me is a lot harder than this. I'm getting there. This is my current reality. And these obviously are my beautiful girls. Okay, so when you wake up in the morning and you think that things are hard, I want you to ask which is harder long term. Is it a temporary? And let me tell you, this was not temporary, guys. This definitely, okay, somebody's off mute. This was definitely a lot harder. Okay, and another visual that I want to kind of bring to your attention is that these are not around my house. These definitely made the move because I did the same visual when I lived in California. These puppies made it all the way to Texas. There was no way, especially when you're purging to get rid of stuff because you're moving out of state. These are what are hanging around my house. So when you just kind of think of something hard, I just want you to kind of keep that visual in mind, because for me, it's been almost 4 years. And I'm a firm believer that book club, even in optimization, this is where I get to stay mentally planted. One thing about the books, I hope that as some of you, I know some of you are optimized, but I hope that someday your books look like this. Mine are falling apart because I read them so much. So I hope that this happens to you, and you guys know my theory on the spiral bound. If you don't have your book spiral bound, you're cheating yourself. So I just kind of wanted to touch on that. But last week, Allie led us into 2.3. We're definitely going to finish that today. And if you go look on page 214, I'm just going to cover a little bit more on hydration. Hydration is pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. But we are coming into the cooler months. Fall cools things down, not you California people. I guess I'm not really talking to you guys because you guys get the best weather all year round. But even here in Texas, where we are blazing in the summer, it is cooling down, which means water is harder to drink. Just another visual. How many of you guys drink water in a really cool Yeti like this? I mean, they're definitely very cool. They're definitely cuter to carry around. I will tell you that old Kristen used to drink her water in this. This actually is Eric's water bottle. But consider maybe drinking your water in something like this that has the times on it, especially in these winter months. We know that we need to be getting long-term goal. I will say 128 ounces. Obviously, this is only 64. Just a little bit of trick that I do is obviously it's 11 o'clock. And if you're kind of OCD like me, I am at the 11 o'clock time. I freak out if it says 9 o'clock and it's 11 o'clock, and I will just sit there and I will drink my little butt off until I see 11. Now, there are times that if I get down to like 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock, I just trick myself and say, well, it's 11. I'm ahead of schedule. I'll stop drinking. I actually don't do that. I will get another bottle of water and I will add it and put it at the time that it currently is. So that's just something that I do. I don't know if any of you are struggling with water. Also, on page 215, it talks about healthy weight management. And there's some little things right there that say fuel every 2 to 3 hours, 2.5 hours, I think is pretty awesome. Planning your meals. Okay, guys, we are coming into the holidays. We all know that. Okay, which means you're going to have to put your thinking cap on probably a little bit more often. I always like to say fail to plan, plan to fail, which means if you're going places, make sure you guys have extra fuelings in the car, in your purse, in the glove box, in your husband's car, wherever that may be, so that way you can plan accordingly. As we go into holiday shopping, trick or treating, maybe consider having your lean and green earlier in the day. You can eat out, just maybe take your Optavia guide. We all know what the measurements are. You know that if the menu says it's a 7-ounce or 8-ounce steak, you guys know that it's going to shrink down. So just a little bit of thought behind that. Another thing, if you're struggling with water, is we do eat 6 times a day, one bottle of water per fuel. That's kind of a guideline. If you guys don't have a bottle, you guys don't have to run out. But if you just know that between each fuel, you should have one of these, that will definitely serve you and kind of get you to some of your goals. Does anybody want to raise their hand? Which if you go under reactions, you could just raise your hand. Does anybody want to share any tips, tricks, or anything regarding that, or water, or anything that they want to share? If you do, great. If not, I will continue on. Okay, so I have Dr. I'm just going to call you Dr. Austin because I don't even want to butcher your first name. If you want to go ahead and come off mute and share with us, we would love to hear from you.
I add extra waters to my fuels, and it's 2 Mona. So it's totally like how it looks. It just looks intimidating, but it's not.
Okay. Okay, so that's great. So she's just adding extra water to her fuels, which I will tell you guys, that is what I do. I don't use the little 8-ounce Optavia shaker. I am just like her. So that is a great idea. Thank you for sharing. Ashley, do you want to come off mute?
Yeah, quick tip. So for those that struggle to remember to drink water, if you don't have like the bottles at the time, something that I'll do, or I'll tell my clients, is whenever you have a fueling, drink a good chunk of water. That way, you know, typically a lot of people set their timers for fuelings to remind them to eat. Well, same thing for your water. So you can just drink some as you're eating.
Awesome. Thank you. Eric?
Yeah, let me jump in real quick, guys. What I've been doing lately, because I have to have my coffee, I'm not going to lie, right? So I put my cup of coffee. I cannot have another cup unless I have a bottle of water. Okay, so sometimes we just keep drinking the coffee or a Diet Coke or something with the infusers. That's something that's just not plain water, and that's fine. But for me personally, I reward myself with another cup of Joe with the bottle of water. Okay, so just some food for thought there. Ali, and then Tatiana.
So one thing, good morning, everybody. One thing I started doing same thing with Eric. I like my coffee in the morning, but what I realized very quickly is coffee was a lot of time the first thing I put in my body once I got up. I don't know that I even thought about drinking water right away. But once I started increasing my water and realizing how much a difference it made in how I feel, now I well, I mean, it's been a long time, probably a year and a half. Hang on, buddy. Hold on. Sorry. What I do is I kind of made a rule for myself, and I have a 40-ounce water bottle that I use. And so I always fill it up the night before. And when I wake up in the morning, I have to drink that before I even get my coffee. That's my rule. And so, and it makes a huge difference, not only in my day, because I'm front loading, and then I start that next 40 ouncer. And so I typically will have like 80 ounces down by like 2 p.m. That's perfect for me, but I'll refill it. That way I just sip throughout the night. And then I'm also not up all night going to, so, which I hear a lot of people, they're kind of afraid of that. So it doesn't happen because I usually cut myself off around 7.
Awesome. Thank you. Go ahead, Tatiana. You can come off mute.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I wanted to add something. It's not necessarily for the hydration part, but I guess it is when we talk about the fueling for the coffees. I ended up taking a trick that my coach had told me about putting a fuel just in like your plain cup of coffee, and it really worked. Like, it was really good. So I just wanted to make that suggestion as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Michelle, did you want to share before we go on?
Yeah, if that's okay. It has
Yeah.
to do with the hydration. You know, when I was teaching as a teacher, and I have a lot of clients that are teachers, they talk about, I can't, get to the restroom, or a lot of that stuff, I'm not drinking the water. And so for myself, I would drink, and I had about a 45-minute drive. I would make sure that I drank at least 32 ounces on the way to work. I do that. And then I knew I was going to be able to use the restroom. I also do that when I'm traveling. I'm very strategic, and like when you have to think about it, if you're not thinking about it. So I'm very strategic. If I'm going to be going anywhere that doesn't have restrooms, get that water in early before you leave your house. So those are just some things that if you travel and you have to go to work, and you may not be able to have a lot of time to use the restroom at work, get it in on your drive. Because as soon as you get to work, you're going to have that opportunity to use the restroom. So that's just a little tip for me.
That is true, because we do have a lot of teachers on program, and you do have the teacher next door that can watch your classroom. And let me tell you, you get to run real quick. Think of those steps you get when you get to go run to the front office to go dump your bladder. Michelle, go ahead before we're going to keep going.
Yeah, so I wanted to share something for more of the visual people. I'm super visual. So when I first began program back in 2000, what worked for me is I had a 32-ounce hydro flask that I would drink out of. And I literally had those black hair bands. I had 4 of them. Every single time I drank one hydro flask and I filled it back up, I removed a rubber band, because that's how my mind works. I'm super visual. So anybody who's just starting, and if you are a visual person, I highly recommend doing something that you can see, because if you're like, oh my gosh, it's 2 p.m. and you still have 3 rubber bands, then you need to start sipping. So anyways, that worked for me.
Awesome. Thank you. Really quick, I was just kind of peering in the chat. I loved Monica's comment. Program is not hard. Life without the program or without the progress is hard. Those are facts. Also, Kristen, I know where you live, and I'm sorry that your Staples does not do the books. Try Office Max as well as Kinko's. Worst case, send them out, but I'm telling you, girl, it is definitely a game changer. Okay, so moving on to page 216. It talks about when you're on the move, here's some tips. Obviously, we know that it takes 3 days to kind of get into fat burn. Guys, one thing it really talks about is making your why very clear. Keep in mind your why changes. So what drove you on day 1 might not be what drives you on day 30. Be aware that your why is continuously going to change. Maybe have it written and planted. I see here that they suggest like the 3x5 cards. I know for me, the fat picture on the phone is all the visual that I need or needed. So that is something that you can keep in mind. I've had some clients tell me that they write it in lipstick on the mirror. Whatever that looks like for you, it just needs to be fully present. If for you women, if you guys need to hang a bikini on your somewhere where you can see it every night when you go to bed, then do so. Another thing that we talk about is stop, challenge, choose. I would encourage, because you can read Stop, Challenge, Choose. I'm sure many of you have it. If you don't, ask your coach for it, especially as we go into the holidays. Stop, Challenge, Choose is something that you should print and you should definitely look at very often, because think about it. You're going to be stopped. You're going to be challenged a whole lot. And then you get to choose what you do or what you don't do. Another thing is they talk about some movement. Keep the movement a little bit light your first week or two as your body is adjusting. Sometimes when people think they start something new, they think that they automatically got to go to the gym, start moving, doing all of those things. We definitely do not encourage you to be a couch potato, but maybe consider starting some of that more movement as you feel better, as the energy comes, maybe around week 2 or 3, whatever works for you. And always remember, guys, we're just, as coaches, we're just setting the pace for you, but you guys are definitely setting the pace. Some people's pace goes at, different things. And, especially as we come into the holidays, I would encourage you to remember that you could be very successful during the holidays. I think a visual that I gave a client the other day was that if you keep in mind for like the month of November, think about this a little bit. You're going to eat 180 times. Don't fret over that one Thanksgiving meal. You can do 179 things, 79 times. You could do it very well. Don't condemn yourself for the one slip. The other thing that I would encourage you is, even for December, we are going to eat 186 times. You can do 20 things right and you could do one thing wrong. But if you fixate on that one thing wrong, it could lead you to a spiral to think that you're not cut out to do this. You are cut out to do this. It's just one healthy habit at a time. Kind of moving to page 217. Oh, that was the other thing. And I know Allie touched on it back on 216. How long will I be in phase 1? Again, that's where you guys set that pace. I will tell you, I was a girl that didn't mess around. I truly saw the gift I had at hand. And that's why I lost over 50 pounds in 3 months. I didn't care what came in front of me. Again, I believe in keeping score. So every time that you're stronger than the things in front of you, write it down somewhere. Keep a list. I still have, it made it to the Texas move. I still have my purple journal where I kept score of all the things that I did well when I could have been doing other things. And I can assure you, you guys have heard me say this, that list is at least a 40-pound weight gain that I saved myself from. So instead of gaining 40 pounds, I definitely lost the 40 pounds. On page 217, transition. Guys, whatever you do, you're working so hard on your first part of your program, your phase of induction. Induction is weight loss. Don't skip the transition. Let your coach help you. You guys cannot do all these things for weeks, months, whatever that looks like for you, and then just say, hey girl, thanks, I've lost all my weight and here I go. I don't need you to transition me. Yes, you do. You cannot go from A to Z and not expect like some fallback and some things. And keep in mind that when we transition, hang on, we've got somebody. Okay, good. They're muted. Okay. Keep in mind that when we transition you, it's about a 4 to 6 week process. And keep in mind, most of us are on the 5-in-1, but there is definitely 17 programs that you need to give yourself that grace, because right now, Optavia is doing most of the thinking for you. Take advantage of Optavia doing the thinking for you, and that they do the thinking 5 times a day, and you only have to think about that one lean and green. But there will be a day where the script is flipped and you got to do a whole lot more thinking by yourself. Okay, I see iPhone. I'm sorry, I don't know your name. You can tell me your name as soon as you unmute, but what did you want to share with us?
Well, my name's Karen. This is my first time to share. But I gave myself a reward. I hit 40 pounds. I've lost 40 pounds. And I went out yesterday and bought myself a new purse. And normally I would reward myself with food or something like that, going out to dinner. But anyway, I'm pleased, and I just wanted to say thank you to you guys.
That is awesome. Definitely you don't want to reward yourself with food. That was our old diet way of doing things. And I know, like Kristen's on here somewhere. She's on one of these pages. But I remember when I started talking with Kristen, she wanted to ride this camel. And that was going to be her first goal milestone hit. I know she's rewarded herself with zip lining. Those are the things you guys want to do. It's not like the cheeseburger, because consider this, we're feeling good on program and we don't have the bloat and all the yuck on the daily basis. So why is it that when we think about deviating, which don't use the word cheat, nobody uses the C word, when you think about that splurge and what you're going to do off course of program, why do you want to go make yourself sick on something that doesn't serve you? It doesn't even make any sense. And then we're belly aching. And it's a very good, friendly reminder for sure. Allie, what did you want to share?
So I wanted to, congratulations, by the way, Karen, that's awesome. I wanted to share a different perspective of rewarding ourselves, and I never really thought about it till literally this moment when Karen shared. So I didn't have a huge weight loss. I'll be honest with you, when I started, I didn't even have a goal because I didn't know that I needed to lose any weight or need it or whatever. I have a different story than a lot of people, but I had a lot of non-scale victories, but my biggest win was 100% my mindset towards food. And so when I think about rewarding myself, it's not in anything, physical or whatever, which is fine because everybody reward yourself, that makes you happy. But I have found now, and I am transitioned, I'm living in optimization. I have found that my biggest reward, very frankly, is the empowerment that I feel within me when I'm, at a gathering or at a function and I don't partake, and I certainly could, and I know that, and I have in the past, but I also know some of those chronic discomforts that I got rid of very shockingly due to what I was putting in my mouth. I have come to realize that is so huge for me not to have migraines and stuff like that. So when I go to a gathering specifically with lots of people, desserts, alcohol, drinks, all that, and I don't partake in any of it, the sense of empowerment I feel, because I still have fun, I still socialize, I enjoy the moment. That is my reward. It's like walking away like, yes, you know what I mean? Because it's that old mindset, and it's a societal mindset of, I'm going to gathering, I have to drink, I have to partake in all of the things on the buffet or whatever. And so remember that internal feeling too that you have when you feel so good because you stuck to your goals, and you stayed on track with your journey. And then the opposite, give yourself grace if you don't. So,
you know what? You reminded me of something that I did want to hit on, because that is so true. Guys, be aware of where you put yourselves. Like, really take a moment and stop and think about that. Do not put yourself in places that you're unsure of. This girl right here, where is she? This girl, she said yes to everything. Look at her. She didn't say no. But this is what I will tell you. This girl definitely says no, thank you. This girl right here definitely did not do the mimosas and all the bagels. Those give me a bellyache anyway. The day my daughter got married, I can tell you right now, I did not say yes to all the things that they were doing in that morning, because guess what? I wanted to feel incredible in that dress. I wanted to feel incredible at that wedding, and nothing was going to take that from me. And Did I eat, I think they had pizza. Did I eat that night? I did, but you better believe I didn't do anything weird or anything funny before then, because I wanted to feel my very best. Where if I would have made it an all day process, an all day, like, oh, I'm going to splurge tonight at her wedding dinner, guys, I would have been sick by the time I even got to that dinner. So just know your surroundings. And like I said, if you're not comfortable yet hanging out with Susie, just avoid Susie. You'll be able to be strong enough to be around Susie again. I promise. Connie, what did you want to share? I think she's trying to unmute. Oh, there she is.
Oh, I just wanted to share the why. When I came into this program in June, and my why was all about my health because I was on high blood pressure medicine. Every time, now, right now, from June to now, I've lost 45 pounds. And I am so glad that I found this program thanks to my coaches, Sherry and Alexandra. But my why keeps me every time. I don't care. I done ate enough food in my lifetime, I believe, and it's nothing to not. Oh, I don't need that. I don't want that. But my why stays with me because of my health, and I'm gonna tell you that's gonna stick with me till I leave this earth because of my health.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, guys. This is what it's about. I didn't realize we were talking. I will encourage you guys to read Jean Jeffrey's story on page 221. Okay, because she simply states, I realize now that I don't have to eat everything that's in front of me, but I do have to eat to fuel my body. Remember, food is fuel. One last thing that I do want to do, we did a giveaway earlier, but I want you all to consider, and this might not be for everybody, but I want you all to take a selfie of yourself or this Zoom or something. Everybody get out your phones, and I need you to take a selfie or a picture of the screen. If you don't want to be in the selfie, I really don't care, but just do it. This part you guys can do. That's not the hard part. The challenge is coming next. Okay, that gave us enough time. Part of your journey is learning to live out loud. Just so you guys know, man, like I would have never shared ever in the beginning. I would have never done some of the things that all of you have done, is speaking to, your coaches, mentor, friends, all of those things. I definitely was a professional dieter. My challenge to all of you this week is to go post on your Facebook. Okay, not Nourish. Nourish doesn't count. This is for those of you that are feeling bold, maybe that have been around, maybe not the ones that have just started today, but you can. I encourage you to go post a picture of yourself on this and be like, what a great way to start my weekend. I am definitely trying to make some changes and better my health. These are my wins. Please leave out the word Optavia, because I want you to tag your coach. And if you put Optavia and they think like, holy cow, that girl's doing incredible, maybe some of you are down 40 pounds, they're going to go to the website, because I have 2 clients this week that literally came off of a website from a friend that gave out the name. So we're definitely not being cryptic, but this is what I want you to do. I want you to put your wins. I want you to tag your coach and be like, thank you so-and-so for helping me. If you guys do that, please, obviously your coach is going to see it, but screenshot it. I'm going to give it till next Thursday, and we're going to do a 25 drawing for those that were brave enough to do it. And we'll have one lucky winner that we will announce next Friday or next Saturday. It's hard to do that. And if you're not ready, that's okay. You can go practice in Nourished. But those of you that are brave enough to do it on your personal Facebook page, like I said, tag your coach, put your wins. You do not have to put a picture. This picture will be good enough. And just remember, this is about you, and this is a journey, and this is not a 30, 60 or 90-day fix. And that it's going to take us all working together, you working with your coach, you working on yourself to be the best version of what we all want to be. So thank you so much. Next week, Brad will be leading us. We will be moving to 2.4. So feel free to read along with us, but if you're in a different part of the book as well, that's okay. So happy Saturday, everybody, and we'll see you next week.